Costa del Sol. This has to be one of Europe's finest regions. Beautiful water of the Mediterranean on one side, mountains on the other, and plenty of sun all year round. I'm flying into Malaga and the views from the plane are great. The city is nice but busy, they have this amphitheater in the center and the harbor looks fancy. There is a brand new cruise ship sitting there for months now doing some testing. But we quickly head out and the views from the car ride to the east are already impressive. My friend and I are renting 2 scooters and we are driving off into the sun. Our first stop is Torre del Mar. They have a pedestrian zone and this endless boardwalk along the beach. The beach is huge and I love how the coastline bends here, offering this crazy view of the mountains in the back. We keep driving into the mountains and these roads are windy and the traffic is chill.
Ocean is right there, 5-minute drive, and there are the mountains. Look up there, amazing. And the speed limits are also very moderate here, which is pretty nice, like 30. It's not too many people like going very much crazy on the cars. And the traffic's also not so bad because there's a big highway here connecting everything. And that can get busy at rush hour. It's actually not too bad either. But if you avoid that, like us, the traffic has been super chill so far.
The 125cc scooter struggles from time to time to get my heavy ass up these hills, and I can only imagine how much fun you could have here on a bigger bike. And now we are approaching the mountain town called Competa. It is white, steep and kind of reminds me of Santorini. We hop off for a quick exploration. It is very quaint and has a lot of narrow alleys.
This town is quite unique. I think every time, oh, this must be a private entrance, but it's still little public alleys, like this one we're in right now, and it's just super quaint, very tight. All these houses are connected. It's like almost like a little fortress on top of like a mountain or something. And I haven't been to Santorini, but I declare this now the Spanish Santorini. Another example, Calle Sedea. Very small little alleyway leading up higher. A lot of steps and a lot of hills. So I assume the people are very fit here.
You better love staircases because this town has a lot of them. There's a central square here and like every good Spanish town, there is a church. It looks very nice here. There are a couple of restaurants to grab some tapas while you can see the mountains in the back almost at all times. Back on the scooters, we drive further into nature and we climb in elevation. The views are getting better by the minute and the mountains grow the further you go inland.
Where am I? Damn. This valley. It's crazy.
We are going up this steep hill and find a strange hotel complex.
Okay, apparently there's this little hotel up here. They look very cool and cute together. There's one of them. It looks a little bit like out of, I don't know, Star Wars Tatooine or maybe the Shire. Some Hobbit homes. This is actually the reception. And there's multiple of these along this hillside. I think it looks pretty cool, like very unique way to build buildings. Oh, there's even a little restaurant. And the view you have here. I like how they have the lights here. Very nice terrace, a lot of spots. Yeah, dude. This is pretty awesome.
It is so steep here, my scooter really struggles.
Little hill climb, gotta use the legs a little bit too. Shit, man. Thought I was joking, but I got to use the legs. Is this fat shaming by a scooter? I think so. awesome. Casa Rural. This is definitely rural. So yeah, this is the peak of this little hill, mountain, whatever. But as you can see, there's hundreds of them. Wow, dude.
Yeah, dude, this is the kind of travel I like to do. We keep going further and further, and there are some pretty nice villas in this backcountry.
It's interesting right now, we drove a little bit further up here off the main road. Like, this is as good as the street gets, but the houses seem a little higher quality or pretty nicely built. On our right, there's some proper, like, almost villas with like walls and stuff. I also appreciate a nice rock wall. Those are some, I don't think you can call that rocks, those are probably boulders. You can practice your climbing here.
The roads are getting rough though, and we don't want to get a flat tire out here, so we turn around towards the next highlight. Imagine running like this dude with this view. We can see the town of Frigiliana down below, but before we head there, we take a detour up another hill.
And we just came up and then there's some hiking area. Little view spot here, and this is much higher mountains in that direction. It looks pretty awesome. And yeah, that looks awesome too, a little kiddie pool down there.
We hike up a small hill and find what looks like signs of an ancient civilization, but check out this viewpoint towering over the coast of the sun.
This looks pretty epic. This right here and that is Frigiliana. Down there at the coast is Nerja, and these white towns on top of these hills there. You can see them when you fly in, and they're everywhere. It looks freaking epic here.
And when was the last time you rode your horse through town? We enjoy the views of the surrounding mountains, but then hop back on the bikes to enter the town below, and it is serene up here. Very similar to the first town we went to, and again reminds me of Santorini, right?
At the center of every little town anywhere in Europe or the Christian world is, of course, a church. But little quaint town square here, I guess.
There are a few restaurants off the edge of a gorge. The views are great, and we have a quick bite to eat before we jump back on the scooters and ride down the mountains towards the coast. We briefly enter the famous town of Nerja, but we will come back later to properly explore. For now, we just check out its biggest beach, Playa Burriana.
Alright, this is Nerja. We're going down to the biggest beach. It's a little separated from the city center, but not by far. And there's a lovely street down here, and then they have this like boardwalk street. I feel like this feels like almost like a little beach town by itself.
There are a lot of shops and restaurants on this beach, but also a lot of activities, and I love how the cliffs look right on this side. Riding through Nerja, there are some really nice buildings, but we keep heading east, and as soon as we leave the town, the traffic almost fully disappears, and this is one of the most enjoyable coastline rides I have seen. Would you look at this view?
And that is towards the west, with Nerja and Torrox in that direction. And this part from Nerja, which is somewhere back there, over here to the east, that must have been the most scenic thing I've seen of Spain so far. And today, just taking scooters out and doing these little coast rides is elevating my perception of the entire freaking area so much. It is so mountainous, and then you have the ocean there, and just look at the color of the water. Like, it's so blue, and then there's green parts and everything. You see a little bit of waves.
And we are not the only ones who enjoy it, as there are many van lifers along the coast staying overnight.
So at this parking spot where a lot of van lifers stop overnight because it's absolutely awesome looking. And then down here there are some like buildings built into the hill, and apparently there's some people, like they say you can sleep in there, but I assume there's just some people kind of living in there. So it's almost like a little commune that is that exited society. But this has to be one of my favorite spots of this trip, down here at the Costa del Sol. I don't know, I really want to get a bike and do some bike trips. I was a big motorcycle guy growing up, and I want to go back to that. And I think just renting a scooter, a little scooter, and going around this area reminded me how much better it is, how much better you can experience an area on two wheels than inside of a car.
We rode further east to get a view of Herradura, a town called Horseshoe because of the coastal bend. It got windy as hell and there were some proper waves. Dude, this looks ridiculous. We were just up there and now look at the waves. But we still had to check out Nerja, one of the most famous small towns on the coast. This is the balcony of Europe, the most picturesque place in town overlooking the ocean. I love this shot, it sums up the beauty of the coast perfectly. We walked around a bit and the Spanish love their dogs. This little guy is 15 years old and next to him, that's his 17-year-old mom. And look at his little tongue, so cute. I tried some tapas, these shrimps are amazing, I love these tortillas de patatas and more bite-sized dishes for under €2 each. And honestly, at every parking lot there are van lifers standing around, so this has to be the perfect spot for that. Costa del Sol out.